Hello and welcome to Shadow Patch Notes, the series where we take the latest patch and discuss all the hidden tweaks and changes that didn't quite make the spotlight. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and stick around until the end of the video to see how you can win a Prowler utility game package with LTI. Alright, let's jump right in. A new setting was added that allows you to automatically report crimes if the notification is ignored. I highly recommend keeping this set to yes. The reason this is so nice is because oftentimes the game takes so long to load that by the time you come back to life, the window to press charges has passed. Now those pesky pirates will be held a bit more accountable for their transgressions. The ball turret for the F7C Mark II was added to in-game shops. Now you won't have to go fetch one off a ship in-game every patch. I found this one at the Sensor Mass and Microtech. Elevator buttons no longer have spaces between them, allowing for more options to fit on the screen. Ladders V2 have returned. You can look back, hang off the sides, and jump in and out at any point. Hangar spawning is also finally back. This is a huge time saver and actually makes spending time in your home hangar a lot more reasonable. The altitude meter on the right side of your HUD will now highlight your current height and is much easier to read. I want to quickly share some huge gameplay tips I learned during Resource Drive, which you may or may not have picked up along the way. First off, by far the most effective way to use the Argo Atlas is to hold Z and free look between your ship and the freight elevator. This way you never have to fiddle with your feet. Second, if you are unloading the Argo Raft, or any other ship with an upside down grid like the Prowler utility, you can double click the topmost box to drop the whole load on the ground. I could see this being really useful for base building, where you'll need to quickly drop off materials so that construction can continue. An all-new stealth armor called the Geist was added. While it's pretty underwhelming now, this armor is intended to have some pretty wild capabilities, including making you invisible to FPS pings, which will be added in a future patch.
If the wearer has all pieces equipped, so that's helmet, core, arms, and legs, due to its mass and the suit's material, their missions will run so low that they will be undetectable on radar.
The Vault weapon of the month is the flashy new Volt Laser Sniper Zenith. It's kind of a sniper and DMR hybrid. It does over 40 damage when rapid firing, so twice that of an S-71 shot. The gun charges itself by simply not shooting, so no need to hold the trigger or anything. A fully charged shot does 80 damage and doubles the shot velocity. The weapon also comes with a variable zoom scope, which you can toggle by pressing shift. We have multiple color variations of both the sniper and the Geist Armor as shown here. Which ones are your favorites? An all-new LH-86 Righteous Pistol was added to the game this patch. You can grab this at the Area 18 weapons store. Should combo well with the ArcCorp armor. The all-powerful P6 LR sniper rifle was added to the gun shack at Checkmate Station. This is my favorite weapon personally. The ammo is also available here. The newest launcher update allows you to log in using third-party apps like Twitch or Gmail. Not sure if I would recommend that, but it's an option. The Trumbull Nova tank finally received its internal storage, despite SIG claiming it was in over half a year ago. You can find it on this panel here. The 600i received a pretty huge HP buff this patch. Don't hold your breath for that rework though. The Asperia Talon got a huge stealth buff, as well as some other changes. The Tried and True Gladius received a few movement nerfs, and the Arrow got some small movement buffs. There's actually a boatload of these light fighter adjustments this patch, so be sure to check SP Viewer for all the details. Proper VTOL thrust was added to the RSI Zeus ships. This should help with takeoff and potentially even help in combat. Freight elevators at Outpost received a number of fixes. Boxes on top of Outpost elevators should no longer disable them. We'll see how well this actually holds up. Some new FPS combat music was added this patch. There's actually a bunch of new music associated with the Onyx facilities, so be sure to have it enabled when you go visit. And that brings us to the main meat and potatoes of this patch. There are over 100 of these Onyx facilities, and you can find 10 of them on each moon in Stanton. After accepting one of the new investigation missions, the new mission giver, Arkin Maller, will contact you via your Mobi to brief you on what to expect. I love that Star Citizen has started doing these cyberpunk-style video comms, as it's way more immersive than just reading a contract description.
Hey, I want you to be extra careful inside the Onyx research wing.
These start out with you landing in an instance hangar, and then going through a main lobby area with an armistice zone. Keep in mind that the hangars are only large, so you probably can't land there with an Idris or any other massive ship that would require an extra large door. There are medical beds present in the lobby for healing, but they cannot be used for respawns. You also can't respawn in your ship at the hangar either, so death means a trip back to the city. If you log out safely at one of these Onyx facilities, you'll log back in one of the med beds in the lobby. I was pretty surprised when I first saw this. Inside you will find various puzzle elements from broken pipes to all new levers and parts of the cave that you can break with a mining laser. FYI, you can also just hardcore parkour your way around this part. Physical interactions, as first shown in Sitcon, are finally here with the Onyx facilities. You'll see your character physically pull levers and other objects to interact with the world. I'm not going to spoil much more in this video, as you're best experiencing it all for yourself. But just know that there is clearly still a lot of content being teed up for these locations in the future, and they just aren't here yet. That is where the cooperation and cooperative zones comes in, I imagine. The NPC loadouts here are unique and full of interesting gear like the Volt pistol. Speaking of NPCs, there are multiple types inside which may be seen fighting each other. A fully functioning prison pod was spotted inside the Onyx facilities. It's possible they may be cooking up bounty hunting V2 behind closed doors. This was since removed, but it's still worth mentioning. You can see the player press F to activate the pod and make it lift, and then press F again to push it around. Dropping your chest piece will now drop all the items on the ground individually. This may be a few patches old, but I learned it while grabbing the new Geist Stealth Armor at Onyx. Dynamic snowstorms can be seen passing by on Microtech. These pretty much speak for themselves. These can also be seen at the polar caps of Bloom in the Pyro system. Wikelo was updated quite a bit this patch. The biggest news is that a wave of ships were finally released from the clutches of Wikelo and added to in-game shops for Alpha UEC. This includes the Drake Golem, the Misk Fortune, the Mirai Guardian, and the Super Hornet Mark II. As for the current Wikelo exclusives, the Starlancer TAC was added to Wikelo and will require multiple ASD drives from the Onyx facilities, as well as favors and service medals. I believe the only other Wikelo exclusive ships now are the F-8C Lightning and the RSI Polaris. What are your thoughts on the Polaris staying exclusive to Wikelo? While I'm happy that the smaller ships are changing, I personally think the massive cap ships are fine staying there, along with the Idris whenever it comes in, but that's just me. Here's a screenshot of some of the new ship and item costs, including a slight change to the Polaris. A new chair was installed to marvel at the Atlas Ichthys. And upstairs, a new room was added on the right side to display the new Volt weapons. Other than that, there is a Wikelo variant of the new stealth armor, and the intro mission ingredients were changed yet again. You can also now acquire Wikelo favors using 40 Karenite or 10 Apex Valacar pearls. As always, I'll leave a link to the spreadsheet by Chris down below. Medical beacons have been disabled for 4.3. My condolences to any remaining medics out there in the verse. Y'all deserve better. This may be cope, but my belief is that the regen crisis will ultimately lead up to the release of the RSI Apollo and some improvements to the medical system by the end of the year. So keep your chin up, guys.
We got the Apollos coming before the end of the year. Wee woo sounds.
The very first proper ship from Kruger has arrived, the L-21 Wolf. It may not have physical components yet, but it does feature a weapon rack on the tail and storage space on the right wing. While everyone is talking about the very on-the-nose reference to the Naboo starfighter from Star Wars, I couldn't help but notice how much it resembles the swordfish fighter from Cowboy Bebop, especially when they reference the bridge scene from the movie with the red paint here. There's also this interesting fin on the bottom. I wonder where they... Oh. I personally like the look of it, but if you're not a fan, the devs have confirmed that you will be able to toggle it closed in a future build. Unfortunately, the PingWave for player names didn't make it into this patch. Not being able to see player names have made flying around the verse feel kinda dead, and no one wants to just sit around and scan for a name. This new idea seems like a pretty good compromise in my opinion. And that'll do it for this episode of Shadow Patch Notes. So, are any of these changes news to you? What do you think of the new Onyx facilities? And are you picking up the new Kruger Wolf? Leave a comment below and let me know. And if you're interested in the game package giveaway, just be a subscriber here on YouTube and head on over to my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/the5star, where you can find the link to enter. Come on by and say hi. Alright everybody, I'll catch you on the flip flop. Peace out.